ready to take a deep dive with us today? We're going to be talking about the Formentino Cane Corso.
One of my favorites.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited about this one. And we've got some really interesting source material that we're going to be taking a look at today.
Yes, we do.
So, yeah, this should be fun. So let's just jump right in, Formentino Cane Corso.
Yeah.
I mean, these dogs are just absolutely striking looking. I mean, that fawn coat and that white mask. I mean, just beautiful dogs.
It is a handsome breed.
But, we always say it's not all about looks.
Right.
There's so much more to this breed than just its looks.
Absolutely.
So let's, kind of go beyond the surface here.
Yeah, let's do it.
And talk about, some of the history and the temperament and, all the ins and outs of this breed.
Sounds good to me.
All right, so let's talk about their history for a second.
Yeah.
Where did these dogs come from? What were they originally bred for?
So the Formentino Cane Corso, they have their roots in ancient Italy.
Okay.
And going back centuries, these dogs were bred for some really serious work. I mean, we're talking guarding, property protecting livestock, even helping out with hunting large game.
Oh, wow.
So these dogs were not your pampered lap dogs.
Wow.
They were bred for a purpose, and they were definitely up to the task.
And so, I mean, for centuries, they were, selectively bred to create, to hone in on these specific traits that made them such good working dogs.
Exactly. And not only physically capable, but also mentally.
Right.
These dogs needed the brains and the brawn.
Yeah, so you're saying they're smart.
Oh, they're definitely intelligent.
Okay.
But that intelligence comes with a little bit of a quirk.
Okay, I like quirks. I like quirks in dogs.
Yeah, well, you'll appreciate this one. The Formentino Cane Corso. They're known to have a bit of a haughty streak.
Haughty.
Haughty.
That's not a word you hear every day.
No, you don't hear it to describe a dog breed very often.
Not very often. But I like it.
It's almost like they're sizing you up,
Really?
deciding if you're worthy of their respect.
So they're discerning.
Very much so.
Okay, I like that.
So what does that actually mean for a potential owner, though? What do they need to be prepared for?
Yeah, what does that look like in day-to-day life with one of these dogs?
Well, these dogs, they're independent thinkers.
Okay.
They're not going to just blindly obey every command you give them.
Oh, so you really need to know what you're doing.
You really do. They need an owner who can establish themselves as a leader, provide consistent training, and understand how to motivate them. It's about earning their respect, not just demanding it.
I see. So you're saying there's not a dog for a first-time dog owner?
They could be, but that person really needs to do their homework.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So it's more like a partnership than a master-pet dynamic.
Exactly.
Interesting. Okay. So we've talked about, their history and how, they were bred to work and they're smart and kind of had this discerning personality.
Right.
Let's talk about their size a little bit because, I remember reading that these dogs can get pretty big.
Oh, yeah. The males can get up to 120 pounds.
Wow.
And stand 28 inches tall at the shoulder.
That's a big dog. That's a big dog.
Yeah. And, that robust build that they have, that's all tied back to their, what they were bred to do.
Exactly. Think about them facing down a wild boar or guarding a homestead.
Mm-hmm.
They needed the size and power to be effective.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we've talked about their size and their temperament.
Yeah.
What about exercise needs? I know that, all dogs need exercise, but I imagine with a breed like this that's, big and was bred to work, they're probably going to need a lot more than just a quick walk around the block.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. These dogs are athletes.
Okay.
They need at least 2 miles of running or walking every single day.
Every day?
Every day.
2 miles, Wolf listener. Are you up for that?
That's a good question because if their exercise needs aren't met, they can get into trouble.
So it's not just about, them being restless. It's actually, it can be detrimental to their well-being.
Absolutely.
Okay, so 2 miles a day, bare minimum.
And that brings up another important point about this breed. They need mental stimulation just as much as physical exercise. Okay, so a simple walk around the block is not going to cut it.
No, it's not enough.
What kind of activities would you say would really challenge a Formentino Cane Corso mentally?
Think puzzle toys, obedience training that goes beyond basic commands, even tasks around the house that make them think. They thrive on having a purpose,
Okay.
on using their intelligence.
Yeah.
And honestly, a tired cane corso is a good cane corso.
A tired cane corso is a good cane corso. I like that. So it's not just about physical exhaustion, it's about mental exhaustion as well.
Exactly. It's about keeping their minds engaged and giving them an outlet for all that intelligence.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So we've established that these dogs are intelligent, strong-willed, and need a lot of physical and mental stimulation.
Yes.
What about grooming? I know we were talking about, that short double-layered coat earlier. What's the brushing experience like with a dog this size?
Well, it's not as bad as you might think.
Okay.
It's not like a fluffy lap dog that needs constant primping.
Yeah.
Their coat is short, but that double layer means they do shed. So regular brushing at least once a week, and more often during shedding season, will keep the fur tumbleweeds under control.
Got it. So no escaping the dog hair, but
Yeah.
at least the brushing itself isn't too complicated thanks to that short coat.
Exactly.
Okay. Let's talk about training for a second because, the sources that we were looking at really emphasized early socialization as being absolutely non-negotiable with this breed.
It is.
Why is that? Why is this breed particularly sensitive to that?
It goes back to their protective instincts and that independent haughty streak we talked about.
Okay.
Without early and consistent socialization, those instincts can get a little exaggerated.
So you really need to get them out and about and exposed to different things.
You do. And early on, you want to prevent them from becoming wary of strangers, other dogs, or even new environments.
So it's not just about, teaching them to stay. It's about shaping their entire worldview from a young age.
That's a good way to put it.
Interesting. Okay. And what about the type of training that works best for this breed? I know there are different approaches to dog training,
There are.
but what have you found to be most effective with Formentino Cane Corsos?
Positive reinforcement is key.
Okay.
Rewarding good behavior, making training enjoyable, building a strong bond based on trust and respect.
So you're not a proponent of, the more old school, kind of harsh punishment-based training methods.
No, not for this breed.
Okay.
They're too smart for that.
You'll see right through it.
Exactly. You got to outsmart them.
Okay, so positive reinforcement, but we also talked about, them needing an owner who can establish leadership.
Mm-hmm.
How do you balance that with positive reinforcement?
It's a good question. It's not about being harsh or domineering, but it's about being clear, confident, and consistent in your expectations.
So they need to know that you're in charge, but not in a way that's, scary or makes them afraid of you.
Right. It's about finding that balance.
Yeah, so it's about setting clear boundaries, being the leader they need, but doing it in a way that's positive and build a strong bond.
You got it.
That makes sense. So it's not basic obedience. It's about understanding their personality and working with it, not against it.
Exactly.
Okay. Another thing I wanted to talk about is health, because I know that we were reading about some potential health concerns with this breed.
Yes, every breed has its potential health concerns.
Right.
Yeah.
And the ones that came up for the Formentino Cane Corso were hip dysplasia bloat and eyelid abnormalities.
Right.
Can you break those down for our listeners a little bit?
Sure. So hip dysplasia, it's a common issue in larger breeds where the hip joint doesn't develop properly and it can cause pain, lameness, and arthritis.
Oh, that sounds painful.
It can be. And then there's bloat, which is another serious condition that can affect deep-chested breeds like the Cane Corso. Their stomach can actually twist, cutting off blood flow. And it's a life-threatening emergency.
Oh, wow. So that's something that you really need to be aware of and know the signs of?
Absolutely. And then the eyelid abnormalities. Those can range from the eyelid rolling inward, which irritates the eye, to the eyelid rolling outward, which can lead to dryness and even vision problems.
So these are some pretty serious potential health concerns. What can owners do to prevent or manage these issues?
Well, prevention starts with responsible breeding practices.
Okay.
Choose a breeder who screens their dogs for these conditions. Maintaining a healthy weight is crucial for joint health and can reduce the risk of hip dysplasia. As for bloat, there are some dietary strategies like feeding smaller meals more frequently and avoiding strenuous exercise after eating that can help.
So it's about being proactive and informed, working with a vet who understands the breed, and taking steps to minimize those risks.
Exactly. It's about being a responsible owner.
Well said, well said. Listener, we've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive. We've explored their history, their unique temperament, those specific training needs, and those potential health concerns. But don't worry, we're not done yet. There's still so much more to uncover about what makes this breed tick.
So much more.
Join us for part 2, where we'll continue our exploration of the Formentino Cane Corso and delve into some of the fascinating nuances of their personality and the incredible bond they form with their owners. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of the Formentino Cane Corso. It's amazing how much we've already learned about this breed.
It is, isn't it? And we're just getting started.
Exactly. So far, we've covered their history, their impressive physique, and all those specific needs when it comes to training and health. But now I'm really curious about, what it's actually like to live with a Formentino Cane Corso.
You're talking about the bond. It's truly something special with this breed. It goes beyond just having a pet. It's more like a partnership.
So it's deeper than just, obedience.
Yeah.
What makes this bond so unique?
They are incredibly attuned to their owners.
Okay.
They sense your emotions, they offer unwavering support, and they provide a sense of security unlike any other breed.
We've talked a lot about that independent, haughty streak they have. But it sounds like that translates into something really beautiful in the bond they form.
It does. It's a bond built on mutual respect, trust, and understanding. That same independence fosters a sense of partnership. It's not a dominant submissive dynamic. It's two individuals working together,
Yeah.
each with a crucial role.
So it's a relationship that challenges you, that requires effort, but ultimately rewards you with a level of companionship that's just incredibly fulfilling.
Exactly. And it's a bond that only deepens over time.
Oh, wow.
As you train together, as you face challenges together, as you share experiences, that connection just gets stronger and stronger.
Mm.
It's a journey of growth both for the dog and the owner.
It's amazing how all these pieces fit together. Their history, their temperament, the type of owner they need, it all leads to this profound bond.
It really does. And it highlights what I hope listeners will remember about the Formentino Cane Corso. They are capable of incredible love, loyalty, and companionship.
But those qualities don't just appear out of thin air, right?
Absolutely not. Those qualities emerge when their needs are met, when they're given the guidance and structure they require. It all goes back to responsible ownership.
Right. And we talked a little bit about that in the first part, with training and socialization.
Exactly.
But it sounds like you're saying that that goes beyond just, those basic things.
It does. It's about understanding their unique personality, their need for purpose, their incredible intelligence.
So it's about creating an environment where they can thrive.
Precisely. An environment where they feel safe, respected, and fulfilled.
That makes sense.
Yes.
And, speaking of environment, we haven't really talked about, what kind of living situation is best for a Formentino Cane Corso.
That's a great point. And it leads us to a crucial aspect of responsible dog ownership. Lifestyle compatibility.
Lifestyle compatibility. What do you mean by that?
It's about understanding that a dog isn't just a pet. It's a living being with specific needs and a personality that might or might not mesh well with your lifestyle.
So it's not a one-size-fits-all situation.
Exactly. And with a breed like the Formentino Cane Corso, this is especially important.
Right.
We've already talked about their intelligence, their strong will, their need for both physical and mental stimulation. All of those factors play a role in determining if this is the right breed for a particular person or family.
Okay, I'm starting to see the bigger picture here.
Huh?
What are some of the key lifestyle factors someone should consider before even thinking about welcoming a Formentino Cane Corso into their home?
Well, first and foremost, space.
Okay.
These are large, energetic dogs. They need room to move, to play, to exercise. A cramped apartment in a bustling city isn't going to cut it. They'd thrive in a home with a yard preferably fenced where they can safely run and explore.
So it's not just about having enough square footage. It's about providing an environment that suits their energy levels and allows them to be a dog, not a couch potato.
Exactly. And then there's the time commitment. We touched on this earlier, but it's worth emphasizing. These dogs need more than just walks. They need active engagement training sessions, playtime, and activities that challenge their minds.
You're reminding me of what we talked about earlier, their need for mental stimulation. It sounds like owning a Formentino Cane Corso is almost like having a part-time job.
Well, it's certainly a significant responsibility.
Yeah.
If you're someone who works long hours or travels frequently, it might be challenging to provide the attention and stimulation a Formentino Cane Corso needs. They thrive on interaction and having a purpose, not being left alone for extended periods.
That makes sense. It's about finding a balance between your life and their needs. What else should potential owners consider?
The financial aspect is important too. Owning any dog comes with costs, but larger breeds tend to have higher expenses, especially when it comes to food and vet care. And with the potential health concerns we discussed, those costs can add up quickly.
So potential owners need to be prepared for those financial responsibilities. It's not just about the initial adoption fee, it's about the ongoing commitment to their well-being.
Precisely. And it's not just about money and space, it's also about personality fit. Remember that independent, sometimes stubborn nature. The Formentino Cane Corso needs an owner who can handle that. Someone who's confident, consistent, and willing to put in the effort required for training and socialization.
That makes sense. I'm picturing someone who's not afraid to set boundaries, who can be a strong leader, but also understands how to motivate and build a positive relationship.
Exactly. It's about finding a balance between providing structure and allowing them to express their individuality.
So it's a two-way street. The dog needs to fit into your lifestyle, but you also need to be the right fit for the dog.
Precisely. And that brings us to a crucial point, understanding the difference between wanting a certain breed and actually being prepared to meet its needs. Sometimes what we desire might not align with what's best for the dog.
That's such an important message. It's about being honest with yourself about your capabilities and limitations. And it's about putting the dog's well-being first, even if it means choosing a different breed that's a better fit for your lifestyle.
I couldn't agree more. Responsible pet ownership is about making choices that benefit both the dog and the owner. It's about creating a harmonious partnership where both parties can thrive.
This deep dive has really opened my eyes to the complexities of owning a Formentino Cane Corso. It's so much more than just their striking looks or impressive physique. It's about understanding their history, temperament, and specific needs. And it's about being prepared to make a lifelong commitment to their well-being.
I couldn't have said it better myself. And I think what's so fascinating is how all these aspects are interwoven. Their history shapes their physique influences their temperament dictates their training needs, and so on. It's a reminder that choosing a dog breed goes beyond just aesthetics. It's about understanding the whole package.
Well said. And listener, that brings us to the end of part 2 of our deep dives. But don't worry, we're not done yet. Join us for the final part, where we'll wrap up our exploration of the Formentino Cane Corso and leave you with some final thoughts to ponder.
Stay tuned. Welcome back, listener, to the final part of our deep dive. We've covered so much ground already. We have.
We talked about their history, their temperament, the commitment involved in owning a Formentino Cane Corso. But now I want to hear more about what it's actually like to share your life with one of these dogs.
You're talking about the heart of it all, the bond. It's truly something special with this breed. It goes beyond just having a pet. It's more like a partnership.
So it's deeper than just obedience or, even just companionship. What makes this bond so unique? What sets it apart?
They are incredibly attuned to their owners. They sense your emotions. They offer unwavering support, and they provide a sense of security unlike any other breed I've encountered.
We've talked a lot about that independent, haughty streak they have.
Yeah.
But it sounds like that translates into something really beautiful in the bond they form.
It does. It's a bond built on mutual respect, trust, and understanding. That same independence fosters a sense of partnership. It's not a dominant, submissive dynamic. It's two individuals working together, each with a crucial role.
So it's a relationship that challenges you, that requires effort, but ultimately rewards you with a level of companionship that's just incredibly fulfilling.
Exactly. And it's a bond that only deepens over time. As you train together, as you face challenges together, as you share experiences, that connection just gets stronger and stronger. It's a journey of growth, both for the dog and the owner.
It's amazing how all these pieces fit together.
Well,
Their history, their temperament, the type of owner they need, all leads to this profound bond.
it really does. And it highlights what I hope listeners take away from our deep dive today. The Formentino Cane Corso is capable of incredible love, loyalty, and companionship.
But those qualities don't just appear out of thin air, right?
Absolutely not. Those qualities emerge when their needs are met, when they're given the guidance and structure they require. It all goes back to responsible ownership. It's a commitment.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one thing you want our listener to take away from this?
Choose this breed with your eyes wide open. It's a commitment to training, to socialization, to providing for their physical and mental needs. It's about understanding that their needs go beyond just food, water, and shelter. They thrive on engagement purpose and a strong bond with their owner.
And if they do decide to take the leap?
Then they'll discover that the Formentino Cane Corso is more than just a powerful guard dog. They're capable of a depth of love and companionship that is truly rewarding. It's a unique journey, full of challenges and rewards. And in the end, you might just learn as much from them as they learn from you.
Well said, listener. That concludes our deep dive into the world of the Formentino Cane Corso. It's a breed that demands respect, but gives back tenfold in loyalty and affection. If you're considering making one a part of your life, remember everything we've talked about. Do your research, be honest with yourself about your lifestyle, and if it's the right fit, embrace the incredible journey that awaits.